Hey everybody, Drew Cronin here, Associate Curator International Conservation at the Zoo. I'm excited to talk to you about red colobus today. Thanks for all the questions. Let's get to it. So red colobus monkeys are old world monkeys. Old world monkeys are found only in Africa and Asia, and colobus specifically are only found in Africa. The old world monkeys are broken into two groups, colobines and Cercopithecidae. Cercopithecidae are things like baboons. Colobines are the ones we're talking about today, the colobus monkeys. Colobus monkeys typically have a reduced thumb and a multi-chambered stomach for breaking down hard to digest foods like seeds and leaves. So there's not really a lot of difference between some species and other species they are. It depends on which red colobus species. The western red colobus, pretty much the same between males and females, whereas the ashy red colobus, males are a lot bigger than females. My favorite red colobus species is Pennant's red colobus. It's found on Bioko Island, Equatorial Guinea. It's the one I've worked with the longest, and it's how I got into red colobus conservation and generally primate conservation. I got involved with conserving red colobus when I was doing my dissertation work, studying the impact of hunting on primates in Equatorial Guinea. Red colobus were the most vulnerable to hunting, so I sort of naturally started to focus on them. I sure did. After 7 months, it was time for the quarantine mane to go. So yeah, I went ahead and cut my hair yesterday. So there's lots of ways you can support red colobus conservation from home. You can support the zoo and other organizations working on conserving red colobus, or you can make informed daily choices like consuming less, avoiding single-use plastics, and making sustainable choices with your food. So there's 17 different species, and there's 18 different types. There's 2 subspecies, and each one of those is from a distinct range across Africa. Now, the most common is likely the one with the largest range, that's Oustelettes, and that ranges from Cameroon/Congo border to South Sudan in the east, and it's likely the most populous species. So the zoo works with red colobus conservation in 3 sites. Nigeria with the critically endangered Proesus red colobus, in Equatorial Guinea with the critically endangered Pennant's red colobus, and in Uganda with the endangered ashy red colobus. Ultimately, I think what's coolest is the diversity across the entire continent of Africa, but I also think it's really cool that they have this multi-chambered stomach, so, you know, we're most familiar with deer, so think of that type of stomach in a monkey. When I was younger, I really liked the swashbuckling element of going out into the forest and looking for monkeys in the rainforest. But as I've gotten older, I've realized it's really the partnerships and the people that I work with that make it all worthwhile, in addition to conserving the wildlife. Yes, red colobus are only found in Africa. Like I said earlier, they range from Senegal in the west to the islands of Zanzibar in the east. My favorite animal really depends on the zoo specifically. Generally speaking, my favorite animal is probably wild dogs. Here at the North Carolina Zoo, it's probably red wolves. I just think it's a fascinating animal, and their conservation story is really interesting. Red colobus are the most threatened monkey group in the world, but most people don't even know what red colobus are. And so a number of organizations around the world came together to develop this red colobus action plan to try to catalyze conservation and really conserve these species going forward. Red Colobus Conservation Network is one of the first things to come out of the action plan, and it's brought together all these researchers, educators, activists, conservationists under the umbrella of the network to try to catalyze conservation for red colobus and move it forward. Thank you for all these questions. They've been really great. Some of them put me on the spot, but I appreciate it, and look forward to the next Ask an Expert.